Hello, good morning. It's currently 5 a.m. and let's read Dostoevsky. Gusto ko na matulog ulit. Okay, ito siya. This is your book today. Ito na yung survival tools ko, I guess. Kasi this is the book already. And I have my earphones with me. Tapos, pen. Kasi yung book notebook ko. Kasi I know, ang daming names dito sa mga Russian literature. So, kailangan ko ng notebook to keep up with all of them. Especially, ganun kalaking libro. Eyeglasses, my phone, and a pencil. Because I always annotate my books with pencil. And I shall have my first sip of the tea of the day. Ayan, any little corner ko. Diba? Ganap na ganap talaga siya. I think this is my 4th time trying in the past 3 years. And I am determined to succeed. Follow my lead. We are officially starting. It's the book 1. A Nice Little Family. Nako, I doubt. It's 5:24. Let's start. Okay, right off the bat, yan, meron tayo agad na character. So, para hindi ko sila makalimutan, ito talagang kakarir kong as much as possible, ilagay lahat ng pangalan ng part of the family. Sa pangatlong page pa lang tayo, but I could say na si Fyodor Pavlovich is a bitch. Tapos, mayroong ito yung problema sa Russian literature kasi may biglang Mitya dito na sinabi, which wala namang pasabing libro kung sino naman si Mitya. And I already have a long list of characters so far, like the whole family. Ayan. Tapos biglang mayroong Mitya. Sabi ko, ano si Mitya? But in this context, yun pala yung si eldest, si Dmitri. So yan, mahilig yung mga Russian literature na bigla-biglang magkakaroon ng 3 nickname. Usually, tapos tayo sa chapter 1. It's 5:43. Talagang tititake ko yung time ko. Talagang i-absorb siya. And chapter 2 tayo. Tapos meron akong first like highlight of the book. And I have these. Actually, paubos na nga yung mga ganito ko. Kasi originally may iba pa ako na binili ko sa TikTok shop. Pero ito nakita ko lang sa tabi-tabi kasi ubos na yung binili ko dun before. And I love color coding my annotations with the book. So, una muna gagamitin ko tong red. Diyan na yan. And let's start chapter 2. I don't know if you guys can hear, pero naulan sa labas. Which is like the perfect weather para kay Dostoevsky. Kasi si Dostoevsky, parang feel ko talaga siya yung nagka-thrive off sa ulan. It is 6:19. I am chapter 4. Ito na yung i-introduce sa atin si Alexei Fyodorovich. Feel ko kailangan ko munang sabihin lahat ng naisip ko kasi mag-brain overload na ako with all the information na talagang sinantok sa'yo ni Fyodor. So far, ito yung long list of characters natin. Nalagay ko dito yung mga main characters. I think, yung parang pinipredict ko na main characters, which is yung tatay and yung 3 sons. And these are all the side characters. So far, we have si Fyodor Pavlovich Karamazov, which is yung tatay, the landowner. Married twice, 3 anak. First wife, si Dmitri. Yung sa second wife, si Ivan, saka si Alexei. And then, si Dmitri moved home 4 times. Daming pinagdaanan. Yun yung talaga yung notes ko. Daming pinagdaanan. He got ripped off by his father on an estate. Nakalimutan nga siya ng tatay niya from the very first time talaga na pinanganak siya. So, he had to go through a lot. Ivan, saka si Alexei. Yung dalawa na yun kasi sa second wife. Parang widow mistress niya, second wife. Parang nag-alaga sa kanya ata before. Yung heir niya is very honest man. Tapos kinupkup yung dalawang brothers na yon, and siya na nagpalaki. Contributes a lot siguro, sabi ng narrator, sa parang magandang upbringing ng dalawang bata. You could definitely see how this is going to be kasi yung dalawang younger brothers, meron silang konting support, ganyan. As compared to Dimitri na, well, nakalimutan ng tatay niya. But that's basically the introduction of everything. Except yung kay Alexei, kasi hindi ko pa siya nababasa. So, huwag tayong paligoy-ligoy pa. Basahin ko na ang introduction chapter kay Alexei. I'm only like 3 pages into the introduction of Alyosha, which is Alexei. And I love him! Oh my gosh! Super like, gusto ko siya ma-meet in real life, ganung level. Kasi parang, he reminds me a lot of my younger sister, as in, I mean, like, so far, I like yung parang, hindi sila na-offend, ganyan, or like, very light kasama, ganun. But let's see if he's really like a likable character or hindi, kasi so far, okay siya sa akin. So, I'm done with the chapter of the youngest, si Alexei. He's called Alyosha. Wala pa akong note, pero so far, lagay ko, likable character. Parang isip ko nga, charming siguro, ganyan. Kasi parang sinasabi din ng mga tao na for some reason, they really like him, and meron kang urge na alagaan siya at the same time. Parang hindi mo mafe-feel na burden siya, gano'n. Nagkaroon ng moral trigger inside yung sa tatay niya after meeting with Alexei. So, he has that effect talaga sa kanya. We are chapter 5, Elders, and I think this is the last chapter of book 1. It's 6:49 na agad. Hala, 6:50 na. Feel ko kaya to. Feel ko kaya tong book 1 hanggang 7 AM. So, kailangan ko nang mag-get back into reading if I want to finish this by 7 AM. Okay, I was 4 minutes late. 7:04 na. Kasi, kinakabahan ako eh. Kasi parang nagkaroon ng topic. Itong chapter nito, it talks about the elder, which is yung super love ni Alexei. Ayan. Book 2 na tayo. So, sa pahuli kasing part ng chapter, parang it talks about yung feelings din ni Alexei kay Ivan saka kay Dimitri after meeting them. Although na-meet naman niya si Ivan kasi syempre nag-grow up siya, pero parang something na nafe-feel niya hindi pa din sila close. At the same time, he's longing or he's yearning for that closeness sa brother niya kasi parang feel niya inside sobrang gustong may ma-achieve si Ivan na goal sa life, which hindi niya alam kung ano, that he forgot about him. But he doesn't take offense about it. Parang hindi naman siya na-offend. Parang ang pinaka-purpose lang niya is, napapansin lang niya. At the same time, gusto niyang maging close sa brothers niya. And yung si Dimitri actually, mas close pa nga niya kasi kay Ivan, mas nafe-feel pa niya yung presence nun after meeting with him. Kasi nga hindi matapos-tapos yung affairs ni father sa ni Dimitri. And si Ivan serves as a mediator between his father and Dimitri, yung oldest nila. Pero sa huling part ng chapter, nag-jokingly nga lang nung una yung tatay niya na parang mag-meet up kaya tayo lahat sa Elder Zosima's cell. I don't know why, kung bakit ayun yung pinili niyang meet up. Kasi parang gusto niya ng meeting, ganyan. Parang matapos na once and for all lahat ng mga hinakit nila or something. Parang yun nata eh. 36 pages lang yun So, dinaming haba na ng video. 36 pages pa lang yun. Sobrang grabe ang lore naman so much. Sali na ako sa book 2. Kasi nakalagay dito, in a proper gathering. And I live for the family drama. Parang excited na ako anong mangyayari sa meeting nila sa cell ni kuya mo, Zosima. Okay, narealize ko lang bigla kasi after kong i-highlight. Meron akong pang third ko na highlight. What if, kasi I've only heard yung story about this is about 3 sons and surrounding their father's murder. What if yung younger son was the killer? Kasi parang una-una pala sinasabi ng narrator na he's not really naive. But iba lang yung una kong theory for the 7 pages, and since yung oldest brother, which is may problema sa inheritance saka sa estate, mali mo, pinupush through lang ng narrator na na-offend siya dun sa ginawa tatay niya, but at the same time, baka niloloko lang niya tayo. So, by the way, so far, natatantuwa ako sa nangyayari. Kasi sobrang, yung tatay nila, as in super, like, nakakatawa in a sense na talagang nagpapahiya siya and he admits it himself na sinasadya naman. So, natawa ako sa part na parang, dahil kung anong ginagawa yung pamilya niya, yung pinaka-youngest, si Alyosha, was on the verge of tears. As in, tawan-tawa talaga ako. Like, I could literally, like, imagine ano yung nangyayari IRL nito. Okay, so it's time to eat. It's saktong 8 a.m. And I'm planning to listen to the audiobook habang eating, so I will not stop. Itadakimasu. Grabe. Grabe nung chapter nito, so be it, so be it. Wow. Okay, it's now 9 a.m. So it's been 3.5 hours since I've been reading. And I'm finally on the last chapter of book 2, which is named Scandal. 89 pages in. So far, ang meron nangyari sa isang part sa meeting nila na parang biglang at the end of the meeting with the elder, nagbow siya sa feet ni Dimitri, like super bow, like nag-touch yung forehead niya sa ground, which is a very big deal, I guess, that time. No one really knows why he did that. Tapos parang after that chapter, parang pinalis na ni elder si Alexei, pero biglang kinausap siya ni Rakitin. Sinasabi niya na kaya daw ginawa ni father yun kasi siguro as a mark of a criminal. Nag-uus ng krimen or ng murder or something like that yung pamilya nila. By the way, sobrang scandalous yung family kasi parang si Rakitin din nagchika kay Alexei lahat ng chismis sa pamilya nila, which is yung fiancé ni Dimitri, yung eldest. Pinipursue siya ni Ivan, which is yung second son. But at the same time, okay lang kay eldest kasi may iba siya nagustuhan na sa doctress yata. Pero nagustuhan din ng tatay niya yung doctress na yun, which is si Grushka. Super, oh my gosh. Ano ba ito pabigat? Actually, kanina pa tapos. 9:39 na. I am officially on the book 3, which is yung previous ko na last left off ko sa Brothers Karamazov. Kasi yung last na read ko yata, like, hindi ko talaga like fully tinake note lahat kaya nakakalimutan ko ganun. So far, alam mo yung parang gumagawa si Fyodor ng rason para talagang maging okay lang sa'yo na i-hate yung tatay nila kasi like, ang question mo naman ginagawa niya so much. Been like what? Almost 4 hours na ako nagbabasa. 4 hours na nagbabasa. Tapos, I'm only 100 pages in. Usually kasi ang time ko is 50 pages, 1 hour. So, doble. Siguro kasi malaki din yung text niya. Like, andito lahat. And usually, nakita ko sa may ibang libro, 1,000 pages plus tong Brothers Karamazov. But in my version, by Central version, this is only 830 pages. So, kasi nga, parang malaki yung libro. That's why. Okay, a new son emerges from the story kasi, tawag dito, may nabuntis si father ng lahat. Hindi din naman homeless kasi the whole town takes care of her but she doesn't really have a permanent address ganyan. So, bigla na lang nabuntis yun and all of them suspected that it's Fyodor Pavlovich, which is the tatay of the whole story. His name, Pavel Fyodorovich Smerdyakov. Hindi naman in-acknowledge ni father na son niya to. Kaya nagkinupkup na lang siya nung servant ni father. Yun na naman ang scandal for today. Okay, so we are changing location. Because my little sister is here na, so let's go her. Tignan nyo yung dalawang page na to. Walang pause at all. Like, may ilang pages din prior na ganito din siya. Like, sobrang Asan ba yun? Basta may madaming pages na talagang tuloy-tuloy talaga yung pagiging yapper naman so much. By the way, I'm chapter 8. Yung kasing part dito na parang sinabi niya, pinaka-eldest brother na he might have to kill his father if it ever comes to that kasi about his utang sa kanyang fiancé. I was like, okay, so baka hindi siya yung papatay sa kanya. Kasi, it's like, hindi naman siguro mag-i-spoil si Dostoyevsky ng ganun agad sa unang-una. So I'm thinking, maybe Smerdyakov, like the fourth son, maybe Smerdyakov or Ivan. Kunyari, mabuti siyang anak or something. It is 2:47 p.m. So I've been reading for 9 hours. Hindi naman super straight, pero almost super like straight talaga. We are officially in the part 2, and now that I'm checking, so this is hanggang part 4. So far, I think binibuild na tayo ni Dostoyevsky to the climax, which is parang there's something boiling, pero we don't know what it is. So this is how far we're in. Kumbaga, isang libro na to, guys. Isang libro na to. So this is the part 1. Maybe part 2 is like this. And maybe part 2 is like this. And then part 3, and then part 4 siguro yung ganyan. So, 4 na libro, feel ko ganun. So, I'm gonna take a bath and I'll come back. What the hell? May isang chapter dito na parang may bata na inaaway si Alyosha, which is like, girl or boy, bait-bait ni Alyosha eh. Kasi ang ginawa ng bata, niya si Alyosha, pinagbabato ng bato. Tapos kinagat pa niya yung middle finger to the point na nagdudugo na ganyan. Namamatay na yung si Elder. Pero na-figured out ni Elder na parang may mga pre-promise siyang appointment sa iba't ibang tao. For some reason, hindi ko alam kung psychic ba si Elder or what. Pinalabas niya muna si Alexei, which leads to the encounter dun sa bata na si Raulo. Ayun pa lang naman. I'm just like vlogging para hindi ko makalimutan if ever kasi I'm pretty sure I'm gonna forget some details along the way. Okay, so it's 6:30 and hindi pa ako nagbabasa ulit for 30 minutes yata kasi nag-edit ako ng video. By the way, so far, ito may mga notes ako kasi bago ako makalimutan. Unang-una ang sad nung discussion ng captain. Gabi yung pagtrato nila kay Alexei, yung youngest. Like, parang siyang errand boy. Alam mo yung parang siya yung gumagawa lahat ng kailangan gawin. Morally correct, ganyan. Kasi siya yung nakikipag-meet up sa iba, nag-aayos ng loose things ng iba. So, parang ano ba yan? Ang dami niyang time din. Kasi mga errands niya is yung sa captain na pinahiya nung kapatid niya na matanda. Turns out, yung sinasabi ko na nainis ako sa bata, yun yung anak niya ng captain na pinahiya nung kapatid niya. So, napunta sa kanya yung galit ng bata sa mga Karamazov, kasi part siya ng Karamazov family, ganyan. Tapos, sobrang hirap nung captain, and bigla na lang siya naging unemployed yata kasi bigla na lang siyang tinanggal sa trabaho ng tatay nila. Nasad ako sa discourse kasi parang pinag-uusapan nila yung nangyari sa effect nun sa anak niya, na parang namulat agad yung anak niya sa realidad na wala silang magagawa if mas maangat yung nang abuse sa kanya or nang pahiya sa kanya kasi mayaman nga yung Karamazov. Ay, hindi sila super yaman na. Pero si Dimitri kasi yung eldest, syempre, mas mataas yung posisyon niya kasi sa captain. So, sabi ng tatay niya, ni captain, na nasasad daw siya na at 9 years old, namulat agad yung bata sa truth na, sa bitter truth ng world na gano'n. Like, may hierarchy, ganyan. And wala sila magagawa. Sa honor nila, ganyan, true. So, that was a really nice entry din ng philosophy ni Dostoevsky dito. And then, he had a sudden urge na hanapin si Dimitri, yung kuya niyang pinaka-oldest. He hides in a gazebo. Sakita lang niya siya, yung fourth son, with another girl. Tapos tinanong niya kung nasa si Dimitri. Hindi niya alam, pero narinig niya na mag-meet up si Ivan and Dimitri. Tapos pumunta siya doon. But turns out, wala doon si Dimitri, andun lang si Ivan. So, ayun. Nagkaroon sila ng dinner ni Ivan. Kasi si Ivan nakita siya, tapos in-invite siya for a dinner. Ayun, doon pa lang ako. Okay. Okay. This is probably one of the hindi naman hardest. Hindi naman siya hard actually. It's just like pure yap. Appreciate ko din yung mga getong type na libro na may dalawang like sides palagi. And then yung parang nagiging convincing na si Ivan sa kanyang belief. Which is yung kino-convince niya is yung kapatid niyang si Alexei na pinakabata, which is a monk. So, syempre, he as an atheist, inaano niya, parang kino-convey niya ideas doon sa kapatid niya. Andito na tayo sa chapter ng The Grand Inquisitor, which is, I think, I don't know if siya nagsulat nito, but yung last chapter, chapter 4, which is named Rebellion. Grabe, sobrang haba, but yung point ni Ivan is about yung sa children, parang yun yung pinaglalaban niya na dapat hindi sila nadadamay sa kasalanan ng mga adults. Pero grabe, sobrang haba ng sinabi niya. Pero yun lang naman yung pinaka-point niya. As in, like, etong buo na to, yun lang yung point niya. Pero gets ko naman. But, same time, grabe naman. Yup. Okay, we are officially in Book 6, The Russian Monk. Ayan, we are in 300th page na sa book. Ang dami nag-escalate from the last chapter. Si Ivan pumunta na to Moscow. After niyang umalis, parang nagkaroon ng 3 incidents. Una, nalaglag si Smerdyakov, yung anak niya sa labas, sa hagdan. And nagkaroon siya ng epileptic episode yata. Seizure yata, ganyan. Second, hindi nagustuhan ng tatay yung luto nung asawa ni Grigory, which is yung main servant niya. Then third na news na receive niya that day. Si Grigory daw, who had fallen ill 2 days before, was now almost completely bedridden. So, at the same time, yung araw ng evening na yun, so yun yung in-expect niya na dumating si Grushenka, which he has been waiting for her for weeks yata or days, ganyan. Diba ang lookout niya si Smerdyakov, nagkaroon nga ng seizure si Smerdyakov. So, sobrang nakabahan siya kasi na-expect niya arrival ni ate mo girl this night. At the same time, alam niya na baka mamaya si Dimitri, yung eldest, was on a lookout. So, baka magkaroon ng escalation silang dalawa. If ever na nahuli ni Dimitri silang dalawa. So, the plot thickens. And, I'm not sure kung magbabasa pa ako kasi bukas. I'll try also to wake up really, really early. But, that concludes our reading day-to-day 300 pages. It is now 11. Ayan, as you can see, ilan na lang oras tulog ko. I managed to squeeze in a few more pages habang nagdadaldalan sila or nagmi-meeting kuno. And now we are gonna sleep. Because I'm so tired and I've been awake for so long. Good morning, it's 4 a.m. and hindi ako makatulog ulit. Okay, so masyado maaga pa bumaba ako. Natatakot ako kasi 4 pa lang. Natatakot ako bumaba mag-isa. Saka tumambay doon. Mga 5 pa ako bababa. Ganyan. I am chapter 3. Last na ng book 5 yata to. About kay Elder Zosima. So it was nice seeing his history na parang hindi siya all saint agad. Like parang he had a like natural youth na hindi naman corrupt pero rebellion. Parang gano'n rebellious yung nature na hindi siya all throughout his life. Pinanganak agad na parang saintly siya. Ganyan. Para makita natin. Ayan, stopwatch. This whole chapter is parang more on homily yata. Ganyan. It's 4:36 and it took me 25 minutes to finish. We are finally on part 3. Yes! I'm super missing the main story. Sobrang nami-miss ko na sila kasi super haba nun. Book 7. Alyosha. Let's go. Start. Chapter 2, An Opportune Moment, 45 minutes. Focus pa din talaga sa monastery. Like, alam mo yung pananood ka ng anime tapos may filler episode. Ganun yung feeling ko. Like, balik ka na sa main story. So we're nearing 1 hour sa pagbabasa and it's 5:12. You can see. And kakatapos ko lang ng chapter 2. So, we're on chapter 3, An Onion. Kakaitis to si Rakitin. Like, ano ba to si Grushenska? Sobrang gabi mo mabahay to. Parang super maplano siya or manipulative. Like, I don't know what's her plan. Kasi nalaki yung encounter niya with Katrina before. Okay. So, konti pa lang na nababasa ko. Again, kasi dito pa tayo sa part na kinikwento ni Rakitin na na-offend si Alyosha dahil nag-stink si Elder Zosima. Yung body niya nag-stink. So, I think there's like, I don't know kung may paniniwala sila doon na kapag nag-stink yung body, kasi super lakas daw ng amoy ng body. So, parang nire-reject siya yung glory niya or like sobrang corrupt niya sa buhay niya. Parang gano'n yata yung paniniwala. So, it is past 6 a.m. Mabasa na ako ng 1 hour and 14 minutes. Dito na ako sa chapter 4 ni Cana of Galilee. Thank you, Lord. Wala na si Grushenka story. Or is it? Not sure. Pero, ang nangyari kasi dito, umalis na siya. Since I think, I don't know, hindi ko medyo gets kung saan siya pupunta. Pero parang, she's waiting for a message. Tapos parang iiwan niya na yung previous life niya, which is yung town nila ngayon. Inaantok na ako. As in, like, and we are nearing na sa 6:30 a.m. mark. And, tapos na tayo sa part ni Alyosha. So, we are finally in book 8, which is titled Mitya. Pero we are gonna get thrown into his world, in his mind. Hindi ko alam kasi so far, I'm not really liking him. And for sure, mayroong some kind of childhood explanation kung bakit ganyan yung ugali niya. But, it's kind of interesting to see na they all have the same father, pero different, hindi man different upbringing, pero different effect nang nangyari sa pagkakaroon ng ganung type ng father, yung pabaya, ganyan, sa kanilang tatlo. Naantok na ako, sobra. As in, like, the highest level, like, antok ko. Start. Oh, sabi dito. But here we shall only outline the most necessary facts from the history of those 2 terrible days of his life, which preceded the horrible catastrophe that broke so suddenly upon his fate. Ano ba yan? So, legit ba? Talagang siya yung gagawa ng krimen? Like, ano ba yan? Super foreshadowed naman so much kung ganun, diba? So, please. Huwag naman sana. Pero, ano kaya itong horrible catastrophe na to eh. Kaya nag-update ako kasi I just wanna say na sobrang galing ni Dostoyevsky magsulat or mag-portray talaga about the desperation. And yung pinapa-feel niya talaga sa'yo yung parang yung desperation ng character, yung wala nang matakbuhan yung character. And I think I've noticed that already sa way back ko pang binasa notes from the underground. I think yun yung pinakauna kong nabasang work niya, which I was 17, trying to do everything para ibalik yung pera na ninakaw niya per se. But he's doing it the wrong way, and it's parang he's madness na talaga yung nangyayari. Kasi kung saan siya pumunta para mag-borrow ng pera, at pumunta pa nga siya sa kabilang like bayan and super layo pa, tapos yung drunk man pa yun, hindi pa nagising for a few days and hindi na siya makausap, so umuwi na siya. Tapos nag-borrow pa siya ng pera sa nanay ni Katrina, which sobrang yap. Wala naman nangyari sa conversation nila kasi at the end wala siya nakuha pera. And he's gone mad. So, let's see kung sino yung tatamaan ng rage ni Dimitri. And nakakatawa yung character niya since super predictable but at the same time unpredictable. Parang predictable mo na magkakaroon ng violent outburst at the same time hindi mo alam kung paano. Parang ganun. So, let's go. What the hell? Seryoso ba? Seryoso ba? Nakakainis si Mitya, sobra. We are officially halfway through the book. And nandito na ako sa chapter 7, Sudden Decision. And nakalimutan ko yung sabihin kanina. 7:44 AM kasi nag-delete pa ako ng clips ito sa phone. Sige, tapusin ko na yung buong book ni Mitya. Yun yung next update ko. Let's go. We are officially in book 9. Ayan. So, tapos na tayo. Thank God. Kay Mitya. It's already 8:30. And ito yung stopwatch ko, which is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Parang kulang siya ng 1 hour talaga. I don't know why. Tapos nagkabalikan si Mitya saka si Grushenska. Just like, ano ba yan? Kaya nakakainis ko pa nag-escalate yung gabi. Kasi I was expecting more. Pero siguro, the next few chapters, gaganda na siya kasi yung aftermath na, and gusto ko din bumalik na kay Alexei na narrative and kay Ivan. Hindi pa tayo dinadaan masyado kay Ivan. Yes! Mali ako. Kasi now, iniba na ni Dostoyevsky yung trajectory ng storya. Kasi yung unang nabasa ko yun sa POV niya, hindi nag-go into details si Dostoyevsky o ano talaga nangyari. Na-stop kasi dun sa parang part na siya yung huling nakakita na alive yung tatay niya, since siya yung gumising sa tatay niya technically. Dun na-cut yung scene papunta dun sa scene na si Grigory, yung servant nila. Tapos nahuli niya si Dimitri, yung eldest, na nag-jump over the fence. Tapos kinuha niya si Dimitri, like, nakuha niya yung paa. Tapos pinag-smash siya ni Dimitri sa ulo. So, parang, obviously, bakit smash yung ulo niya kung hindi ka guilty or something. Nag-contribute pa rin sa factor na yun sa last part ng book. Inaresto siya ng mga police for the murder of his father. So, I was like, okay, that's pretty disappointing kasi kung siya talaga ginawa yung killer as a killer. But, sabi ni Dostoevsky, don't doubt me kasi ngayon na in-interrogate na siya. Sabi niya, pagkagising ng tatay niya, tapos parang nakita siya sa window, tapos tumakbo siya. Dumadama na ingay. So, I think I might have to switch location again. The tension me and my bed have right now, like, grabe. Kung alam niyo kung gaano ko pinipigilan makatulog ngayon. As in, yeah, no, you have a goal. Balik tayo. Last chapter na ako nung umasok muna ako. So, ano ba yan? Bigla na lang may nakakaiyak. Like, nakakainis to si Yushka. Tapos na yung chapter. Kakainis. Kasi yung context din na ba? Ito yung bata kasi din na yung sabi ko is mga favorite chapter ko nung nakaraan. Parang sobrang ganda ng chapter na yun about parang namulat siya from an early age. Yun sa tatay niya kasi na napahiya ni Dimitri. And it hits different now na parang sinasabi niya noon, diba, na parang paglaki ko, ipaghihiganti kita, ganun, chuchuchu, kasi hindi ko kayang nakitang pahiya ka, ganun. So, okay, kumalma na ako a little bit. 1 p.m. na, eksaktong 1 p.m. na, and I've been reading for, ayan, 5:42. We're finally on book 11. This is titled Brother Ivan Fyodorovich. And I still stand dun sa theory ko, una pa lang na, I'm thinking na, what if siya yung pumatay, or yung pang-apat na anak. I think I've already mentioned that kahapon pa, which is yung kakabasa ko pa lang. So, mali mo naman, meron talagang twist. Ayan na, nagpa-plot thicken na. Ano kayang secret ang pinag-uusapan ni Ivan sa kanya Nitya? Ito na, galit na galit yung mga notes ko. Nakakainis naman so much to si Liza. Na pinapatunayan. Sobrang yapper. Sobrang dami sinasabi ni Dostoevsky talaga bago getting to the point. Yun yung isa sa mga super criticism sa kanya. Tignan nyo naman to. Ayan o, I revealed the whole secret to you. Ilang linya niya, wala pa din. Hello, it's been, what, 2 hours or magti 3 hours na nga yata. Since last na nagbasa, It is 5:50. Ligo ako, kumain ako ng lunch at 2 p.m. Nag-edit ako. I also need to check some emails from Amazon. And look how far we've come. Like, hindi ko expect na ganito nga lang ako nung nakikin eh. Ito yung nababasa ko now. This is the unread pages. Anyways, so we are chapter 5. We are starting at least a bit. Konti lang. Sana makaano ko ngayon. Ang goal ko talaga ngayon is 700. Hanggang 700 page ako ngayon. Please. Hindi ko lang kung i-repeat ko lang yung sabi ko kanina. Hindi ko lang kung nasabi ko ba sa video. Yung night na minala si tatay mo, Fyodorovich. Di ba parang nagkaroon ng epileptic attack si Smirdyakov. Sa isip ko tanan, what if nang pepeke siya ng attack niya, ganyan. Mali mo, nalaman niya na anak siya sa labas, ganyan. Hindi ko na alam kung sino yung pumatay talaga kay Fyodorovich. Parang si Ivan, ano yung parang as in talagang wala siyang bahid ng guilt. I mean, wala siyang anything na pointing na siya talaga pumatay, which in his defense din naman, his alibi was nasa Moscow siya. What the hell? Ayan yung annotation ko. Ha? Ano nangyayari? Hindi ko maintindihan. I mean, naintindihan ko, pero biglang sinabi nito ni pangalan na itong anak sa labas, Smerdyakov. Bigla siyang may pinulot siya sa stockings niya, and there it was, yung 3,000 rubles. In-insist ni Smerdyakov na si Ivan din ang pumatay sa tatay niya, kasi siya ang nag-utos kay Smerdyakov na patayin yung tatay niya, which wala namang like ultimate na utos or something, or I don't know, wala pang pinapakita si Dostoevsky na conversation talaga na talagang intusan niya na precisely like ano nga ba tawag doon, yung ultimatum na talagang sinabi niyang ganun. So hindi ko maintindihan. Okay, would it be weird, super weird theory if like, what if may alter ego pala si Ivan? Hoy, what the fuck? Sabi ko talaga as in, narinig ako na Eman. Gumawa ako. Pagkabasa ko, as in like, what the hell? So, tapos na ako sa chapter 9. Ayan, chapter 10 na ako. Naghahabol na ako ng oras kasi gusto ko na matulog. And nakakatulog-tulog na ako. Wait, ang ingay ng vacuum. Hello, we are finally. So, 10 hours, 38 minutes, pero as I've said, hindi super accurate. Siguro, dagdagan natin ng plus 1 hour. So, mga 11 hours or mga 12 hours. Sige, sakto na natin. It's 9:44. And, we're officially in the last book. If I'm not mistaken, last book yata to. Book 12, this is officially the last book. And we are in 697th. Magising ako maaga again tomorrow. Tatapos ko na siya. Kasi feel ko yung 100 pages na yun, 4 hours yun. Feel ko, yung ganito. Kasi normally nga, 50 pages sa akin per 1 hour. Pero dahil malaki to, nahaba yung text na sa isang page. Nagiging times 2. So, I'm pretty excited kasi yung huling nangyari, kaya nagulat ako kasi si Smerdyakov, siya, ganyan. So, binalita sa kanya Alyoshka na gano'n si So, I was like, what the hell? So, sino mag-testify sa court na insante si Dmitry? I don't know. So, let's see tomorrow the drama. And I will sleep. I'm super, super tired. I've been awake all day. I've tried my best, so I deserve it. Look. Here we go again. Ito na talaga. Hindi ko na kaya yung hindi matapos to. Dapat tapusin ko na talaga tong war namin nito sa TMSK. I got the place all over for my, I got the place all by myself again. And it is 5:35. Medyo nalate ako ng a little bit na bumaba. But, excited ako, mabasa na kung ano nang mangyayari. Narinig yung mga bird. Ako si Snow White. Ang ganda ng opening ng book 12. I was reading like 5 sentences na yata. Kasi parang sinasabi niya, ito na yung trial ni Dmitry Karamazov. Excited na ako. Start. Nakalimutan ko i-mention sa inyo. Di ko alam kung popular opinion ba yun, but I find Dostoevsky funny. I mean, may mga writing siya na natatawa talaga ako. As in, like, and it comes like out of nowhere. Siguro natatawa ako kasi from a very dark point of view na yung sa writing niya, yung story mismo. Tapos biglang, basta ang absurd na sinasabi. Tapos natatawa ako. Dapat natatawa ako kayo kasi parang nasingit pa ni narrator, Dostoevsky din na, di ba yung trial Dmitry, yung eldest, na biglang naging sikat siya sa mga babae. Babae kasi nabalitaan daw nila yung ayun sabi, formed him as a conqueror of women's heart. Kasi nabalitaan natin ng mga babae yung sa 2 women rivals na si Katerina Ivanovna saka si Grushka. Tama ba? Si Grushka. So, nabatawan-tawa kasi dahil lang doon na ano na siya, na nagka-interest sa kanya yung mga babae. Kasi parang pinag-aagawan siya ng dalawang babae. So, there must be something about him. Just finished chapter 2, The Dangerous Witnesses yung title ng chapter. Ang ganda ng chapter na yun. As a former gustong mag-lawyer, this was cross-examination ng mga witnesses. Fetyukovich, yan yung lawyer niya. So, may mga dalawang nagustuhan ako dito na super hinighlight talaga kasi galing niya. Woo! Galit! Galing ni Dostoevsky! Kaya, nakakaiyak naman itong part na to. Nakakainis. Kasi parang nag-witness, siya, doktor yata siya. Tapos parang yung bata nga, si Dmitry, diba, napabayaan. Tapos binilan niya ng nuts. Tapos kung ano-ano sinasabi. Hindi ko alam kung ano yun kasi Russian. Tapos parang, ayun, nasabi niya. And ilang years after, pumunta daw si Dmitry sa kanya. Tapos nag-thank you sa pound of nuts niya. For no one has bought me a pound of nuts before. You're the only one who ever bought me. Nakakainis. Ang ganda na. Ang ganda na. Ang ganda na. Ang ganda na. Maganda na siya. I mean, maganda naman talaga siya, pero biglang cross-examine si Alyosha. Binalala siya bigla kasi nung first part ng cross-examination niya, wala siyang mabigay na proof na innocent na yung brother niya, but at the same time, binapointed niya kay Smerdjakov. Pero nakross-examine siya ni Fetyukovich. Parang naalala niya bigla na yung bago doon sila mag-part, parang sinasabi doon ni Mitya na he will restore his honor. Parang gumaganon ata siya. Akala niya before, sa heart niya yung pinapoint, pero yung pala, parang ngayon na na-realize niya, medyo mataas pa. Get daw. So, nisip niya, baka yung amulet siya gumaganon. Which is, yun yung problema dati ng examiner na walang any witness or proof si Mitya na nagkaroon siya ng amulet na nandun yung 1,500 ruble, which is the biggest part of the case kasi wala nakakapagsabi na kung ginastos ba talaga niya yung buong 3,000 or saan na nakuha yung pera ng 3,000, which is the main point ng murder, na parang kinuha niya yung 3,000 rubles. So, why is he hitting himself up there when the heart is lower down? And the thought immediately struck me as stupid. Okay, so, andito na tayo sa chapter 6, the prosecutor's speech. Grabe, sobrang chaotic ng last chapter. And biglang pinesent ni Katrina yung letter ni Nitya stating that he will kill his father and he will restore his honor, So, Nitya, ano ba kasing ginagawa mo sa buhay mo? Ito yung parang perfect example na wag kayong papadala sa mga passion, kahit yung mga pa-joke na sinasabi niyo kasi it will backfire sa'yo. Yung kakapal yung speech niya. So, I'm gonna update you after or if may mga nangyaring events sa prosecutor's speech. Naging dreadful yung journey ko sa prosecutor's speech kasi mostly recollection kasi siya lahat ng, of course, ng defense. Kumbaga yung debate niya or yung bato niya sa defense claims, which is obviously naman talaga ginagawa ng prosecutor. Hey everyone, we are finally nasa last chapter na tayo ng book 12. This is titled, Our Good Peasants Stood Up for Themselves. Ayan, super love ko yung last chapter. Si Fyodor Pavlovich, na hindi daw niya deserve maging konotate kasi hindi naman daw siya nagpakatate growing up kila Dimitri, lalo kay Dimitri na pinabayaan lang niya, ganyan, nakalimutan nga niya. Tapos, he says na parang, hindi porket siya yung siya nag-contribute sa pagbuo is deserving na maging called ng tatay. And he talks about, like, yung very famous Bible verse na, honor your parents, pero sabi niya, dapat, fathers, provoke not your children. Let us first fulfill Christ's commandments ourselves, and only then let us expect the same of our children. Sabi ni lawyer. I was like, damn! Yes, we are on the last leg, chapter ng book 12, and I'm super, super excited. It's almost 9 a.m. Oh my gosh. Okay, umana na yung, yung decision ng court. And they declared sa murder for the purpose of robbery with premeditation guilty. Holy smokes. Huh? Why? Although gets common, actually, in today's time, he will really be guilty talaga kasi lahat ng evidence pointing to him. Start the last book, which is yung epilogue. Ano yung mangyayari, no? The plot thickens and thickens. Okay, we are on chapter 3. I think, if I'm not mistaken, ito na yung last chapter in the whole book. And it's titled, ito yung bata. No. Nakakasad naman. Ito na, nagpapaalam na si Alyosha. Wait lang. But soon I shall leave this town, perhaps for a very long time. And so we shall part, gentlemen. Let us agree here by Ilyush's stone that we will never forget. First, Ilyushka, and second, one another. And whatever may happen to us later in life, even if we do not meet for 20 years afterwards, you must know that there is nothing higher or stronger or sounder or more useful afterwards in life than some good memory, especially a memory from childhood, from the parental home. If a man stores up many such memories to take into life, then he is saved for his whole life. Even if only one good memory remains with us in our hearts, that alone may serve someday for our salvation. Okay, last page. Sabi ni Alyosha, children, dear friends, do not be afraid of life, how good life is when you do something good and rightful. And it really be true, as religion says, that we shall all rise from the dead and come to life and see one another again and everyone, and Ilyushka. Sabi ni Alyosha, certainly we shall rise, certainly we shall see and gladly, joyfully tell one another all that has been. And once more, all the boys joined in his exclamation. Tapos na! Nakakasad naman. I will never, lahat ata ng libro na super ill, pero talagang nagbago talaga ang life naman ng person so much. Friends and family, we are finally finished reading. We finally finished reading Fyodor Dostoevsky's The Brothers Karamazov, and thank you so much for being with me sa buong journey ko dito sa pagbabasa. And kung na-spoil man kayo, well, that's the purpose naman kasi ng video talaga, as in throughout the way, para tayong sabay nagbabasa, ganun. I will do a full in-depth review of this book, pero yung reaction ko naman live, diba? Parang ganun lang din naman siya. But for my review, I will dive it deeper on philosophy and from a literary point of view. Actually, dahil dito, like, siguro 80% na tapos, nagkakaroon agad ako ng urge na basahin yung Crime and Punishment kasi sobrang nagustuhan ko super yung writing ni Dostoevsky. Like, parang hindi talaga siya popular for nothing. Sobrang I love. Definitely one of my favorite reads this year. Tapos yung, I think I will dethrone East of Eden as number 2 and put it under The Brothers Karamazov ni Dostoevsky. So this is currently sitting on my top 2, and then yung East of Eden probably top 3. So anyways, thank you guys so much for coming along with me and witnessing reading one of the greatest masterpieces of all time.